After the First Gulf War, the United Nations, at the behest of the US, imposed harsh economic sanctions on Iraq, ostensibly to prevent Iraq acquiring weapons of mass destruction. In 1995, 4 years into the sanctions regime, the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, along with the WHO, published a study that estimated over 500,000 children under the age of 5 had died as a direct result of the sanctions. When questioned on 60 Minutes about this shocking assessment, the then US Ambassador to the United Nations, Madeleine Albright, who later became US Secretary of State, said, "We think the price is worth it." No single sentence illustrates more powerfully the psychopathic nature of those who wield power in our governments, for no normal person, no person capable of basic human empathy and who is in possession of a functioning conscience, could ever conclude that the slow, painful death of 500,000 small children from malnutrition and dehydration could possibly be justified to achieve any objective, no matter its scale or importance. Yet for Albright, such a barbaric calculus was easily made. It was simple realpolitik. Fast forward 28 years and once again similar macabre calculations and abhorrent justifications are being made, this time about the effectively imprisoned children of Gaza. Only this time it is J-damn bombs from above, not malnutrition and preventable diseases within, that are ripping the life away from those definitively innocent young souls. As we see the smashed, lifeless bodies of babies and children dragged from the rubble of their homes, upwards of 2,500 already, those in power expect us to silently accept that this is just a price worth paying to destroy Hamas and avenge the brutal slaughter of Israeli civilians on October the 7th. And as the bodies continue to mount and the wails of grieving parents grow ever louder, we hear politicians and pundits dutifully repeating the phrase that Israel has a right to defend itself, as if that one single statement provides a moral trump card that neutralizes all other ethical concerns and humanitarian criticisms. Nevertheless, despite such obfuscations and misdirections, the question remains, is it a price worth paying? For most normal, well-adjusted people who are in firm possession of their humanity, this is an easy question to answer, for how can anyone possibly justify the brutal murder of so many innocent, blameless lives? How can any person who has a heart in their chest and the capacity to feel empathy calculate that those smashed bodies are the unavoidable price of justice and security, just a sickening price that must be paid? However, a brief perusal of Twitter and TikTok suggests that such ethical calculations are not as clear and unambiguous for some. If the results of your own reasoning are that the bloody events of October 7th do indeed justify the current body count, then I must simply ask you, at what point does the price become too steep to pay? 5,000 dead children? Perhaps 10,000? How about 50,000 or 100,000? Perhaps you're willing to stretch to Albright's dizzying and sickening heights of 500,000 dead children as the price worth paying to eradicate Hamas and secure the expanded borders of a greater Israel. Or is no price too high, no body count too numerous, no trauma too deep to warrant a cessation of the carnage and the exploration of alternative approaches? At times like these, I fully expect our political leaders to step into line and make such sickening calculations without a mere flutter of their conscience, for our systems are organised in such a way that those with the least empathy amongst us, the psychopaths whose will to power and lack of any normal moral constraints equip them for such dark reasoning, are propelled upwards into positions of power. But what of the rest of us? What's happening to our humanity? Where is our fundamental human empathy? Where is our innate desire to protect blameless, innocent children, irrespective of their ethnicity or the God they may pray to? So many people appear to have chosen their team, aligned with their tribe, and now cheer on the slaughter of the innocents, literally celebrating the suffering and mocking the pain of those on the receiving end of state-of-the-art guided munitions. Perhaps this should not surprise us when we are told that the battle being waged is a battle of light versus darkness, and those tiny, blood-soaked bodies fall into the latter irredeemable group. Or maybe the grainy black and white cockpit videos of exploding bombs sanitizes the horror and anesthetizes us from the suffering they deliver. Or perhaps, more likely, the criminal, psychopathic elites behind these events have become so expert at pressing our buttons and manipulating our emotions that too many people dutifully fall into a trance, fall down the brainstem and revert to our basest nature on command. Despite the horrors of this moment, despite the celebratory TikTok videos and the once reasonable give 'em hell pundits, my faith in humanity persists. More and more people are waking from their trances, seeing through the lies and propaganda and finding the courage to speak out and stand together. But the spell that is cast by the warmongers and psychopaths is a powerful one, and it is vital that we do not succumb to our darker, tribal impulses. Despite what they would have you believe, we are one human family, and the seeds of division that they sow are the seeds of our own destruction. We cannot let those ancient seeds take root. Don't let the war drums hypnotize you into some semi-conscious limbic state where you lose your connection to the very values that make you human. Don't allow the psychopath's mantras mesmerize you into their heartless way of looking at the world, where their deliberately hidden ends can justify the most heinous and barbaric of means. And don't allow yourself to be seduced into thinking that the broken lifeless bodies of babies and children are mere collateral damage, the responsibility for which lays at the feet of harmers, and are therefore an acceptable price to pay. Once we allow ourselves to make such barbaric calculations, we are only a few short steps away from repeating the darkest chapters of humanity's past, and we must never allow that to happen. Brothers and sisters, hold on firmly to your humanity, for it may be the only thing that can save us. Peace and love to you all.